Today I'm going to make for you Cajun steak bites. Delicious for keto. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Tim Harris, and up here on my channel you can expect to find everything keto related, from keto cooking videos to recipes to information on doing keto healthy. A little about me, I've been doing keto for a little over 14 months. I've lost over 150 pounds. I'm a certified health nutrition life coach that specialized in the ketogenic diet, ketogenic lifestyle, and intermittent and prolonged fasting. It's my passion to share with you everything that I've learned from living the keto lifestyle for the last 14 months to help you succeed in your weight loss or health journey. If you haven't done so, click down there to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell icon so you'll be notified every time I post new content to help you in your keto journey. Also, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, one of my new episodes in the Cooking with Keto with Tim show airs and goes public for you all to see. Might be something that you want to make. Alright, as promised, here is the cooking video. So this is what you're going to need. We're going to make Cajun steak bites, and then we're going to have spiral zucchini with some broccoli. It's going to be sort of like a stir fry, alright? So here's everything you're going to need to make this recipe. You are going to need a tablespoon of mild paprika, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, pink Himalayan salt preferably, or sea salt, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder. Gonna need 1 teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of chili powder, and more if you like heat, which I do, so I'll be using more of that. 3/4 teaspoon of dried thyme, a 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, a 1/2 teaspoon of brown sugar, but because we're doing keto, we're gonna use the Swerve brown sugar replacement. You're gonna need a 1/2 to 3/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and again, more if you like heat, which I'm going to use more because I like heat, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cracked black pepper. Now that's the Cajun seasoning that we're going to make to put on the steak. And then to prepare the steak, you're going to need about 28 ounces of your favorite cut of beef, and then you're going to need 1 to 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, because that has a higher smoke point than the other oils we can use. You're going to need a 1/4 cup of butter, but I'm using 3 tablespoons. And you're going to need 4 cloves of finely chopped garlic, but I already have some minced garlic, so I got a tablespoon of it right here. Alright, so let's get right into this. Alright, first thing we're going to do, where'd I put my measuring spoons here? Oh, they're right over here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take this smaller bowl, and I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of paprika, which I have right here. So I'm going to need 4 teaspoons. And I've made this dinner a few times. I really like it. It's got really good flavor. Okay, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay, then I'm going to need 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, which I have right here. I just got to get a fork and pop this little shaker off the top here. Okay, I got that off there. And then I said 1.5 teaspoons, so I got the 1. Then I have a 1/2 teaspoon right here. And I'm so excited to tell you all that I just ordered some new lighting, so my lighting will be better for you guys, so you can enjoy watching my content more. Alright, and then I need 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I need 1 teaspoon of onion powder, which I have right here. Getting ahead of myself here. And then I need a teaspoon of chili powder, more if you like heat. So I'm putting about 1.5 teaspoons of chili powder in there. And then you need 3/4 of a teaspoon of dried thyme. Let me pop this off here. Now I'm just going to put 1/2 teaspoon in there because it's so overpowering that I know when I do it before that's all I seem to be able to taste. Alright, then I need 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano. Okay, and then I need 1/2 teaspoon of brown sugar, but we're going to use a substitute, Swerve. And you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I don't like to use stevia. I prefer to use Bacha Sweet and monk fruit, but I will use Swerve, but I definitely never use stevia. I don't know, I just don't like the taste of it. I think it's the same thing they use in like Diet Pepsi, and I couldn't stand that either when I used to, you know, consume sugar. Alright, and then you need 1/2 to 3/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So I got that right here. And you know, whenever you can, just like, you know, with your meats and your vegetables, try to get organic. I know Aldi has really stepped up, and like this is the Simply Nature Organic. So whenever I can get organic, I always do, because you know, I started this journey to lose fat, but now that I've lost a lot of fat, you know, over 150 pounds, and I've learned about keto and about the healthier body, you know, like I said, I'm a certified health nutrition life coach, and I specialized in this lifestyle. So this is what I'm going to do forever. And, you know, I'm trying to pass it along to you guys to help you in your journey. I just want to see everybody healthy, enjoying your life, you know, living it to the fullest. All right, so then I need some cracked black pepper in here, which right here is my pepper. Okay, so now all we got to do is I have this other bowl right here, right? And I already cut the steak up, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so hopefully that helps show you how to cut up the steak bites like I did. I'm going to put about half of this amount in here, right? about half. So then I'm going to take the bowl that we put the spices all in, and I'm going to stir this up really well. Make sure that the sugar substitute all comes apart. And just mix it until everything looks the same color. So I'm just using the tablespoon, the half a teaspoon that I used to measure the stuff out with. Now I got half of the steak bites in here. I'm going to sprinkle about half of the seasoning right on top of it. Okay, so I have about half of it in there. Now I'm going to put the other half of the beef right on top. Just like that. And then I'm going to take the other half of the seasoning. I'm going to sprinkle it over it. Just like so. Okay. And then I'm going to shake this up a little bit. Actually, I have to use my hands and just turn it in here. You just want to get the spice on everything. Make sure you get it on all of the meat. Like I said, I've made this a few times. It is delicious. I hope you all like it. If you do make this and you like it, comment in the comments on this video, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, how you had it. Did you make, a side of zucchini noodles and broccoli, to have it over like Chinese food or something? All right, so now we got that all mixed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. We're going to pour that into a skillet, okay? And we're going to get that turned on medium-high heat. That's what you're going to want to do. Now once this, gets warm, we're going to add the steak in 2 different batches. And we're just going to sear it and get it nicely browned. We're going to cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. And then we're going to remove it from the pan, but we're still going to want to use that pan, all right? And again, I use avocado oil because it has a higher smoke point. And, if you're cooking your foods, like sauteing them and stuff, your keto foods, we all thought that you wanted to use olive oil, but when you actually heat olive oil up too much past its smoke point, then it ruins all the monounsaturated fats and other health benefits that we get from olive oil. So with olive oil, I suggest you only have that over your salads. You could have it over your protein. You could even have it over these zucchini noodles once they're done to give it a little flavor and to bring up your healthy fats in your keto meal, all right? All right, so now I'm going to add about half of the beef. You don't want to try to have it overlapping and stuff. So just spread it out a little bit so it can get a nice sear on it. Okay, so I'll set this over here out of the way. What you could do now is I used frozen broccoli, but you could use fresh. Now I would get your broccoli cut up, but because I used frozen, I already heated it up in the microwave for about half of the time, and then I put it in the strainer because I want to try to get as much of the moisture out of it as I can. And now would be a perfect time to do your zucchini noodles. If you don't know how to do this, here you go. I'm going to show you how. Once again, it's time for my question of the day. My question for you today is, what type of cut of meat do you prefer while cooking, your keto dinners? I like the chuck eye. It seems like it has more fat content than protein. So to me, it seems like it's the better choice on keto. Just make sure, when you get your meats, that you get grass-fed, grass-finished meats. Because remember, whatever that animal ate is what you're eating. right, so now that you know how to make zoodles, if you don't have a zoodle maker and you want a cheap one, I'm going to leave the link for the one that I just used and showed you how to use right in the comments. You can click there and support my channel, you know, and if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel. Also click the little bell icon over there, because by you doing that, you're supporting my channel, helping my content get out there and help other people. All right, so we got the beef starting to sizzle over here. You just want to get it, you know, browned on all the sides. Once we get this batch done, I will show you guys how to make the zucchini noodles and the broccoli. And it's going to be a delicious keto dinner. You know, I try to keep it as simple as I can, because, you know, doing keto for 14 months, I've learned, you know, quite a bit of stuff. And I found the simpler you can make it, the better, you know. I like to, you know, say kiss about keto. Keto is so simple. People overthink it, you know, they make it more complicated than it is. You know, there's a few keto foods that I consider mandatory in every keto kitchen. And if you would like to know them, I've shared the video. I'll share a link for that in the description as well. You know, the 10 keto items that I think every keto kitchen should have. So this is cooking up nicely. And we have about half of it left here that we have to do in another batch. And you know, if there's any special recipes you guys would like me to do, any special information that I could cover for you guys, don't hesitate, you know, ask me. I would love to help you out, especially, you know, if you're struggling with something. You know, I'm a coach, and that's what I love to do, is help people. That's where my passion is. All right. Let's do this again. But I mean, these look pretty good already. You can see that the flavor in them is going to be delicious. And, you know, also, how long have some of you been doing keto? You know, have you had any struggles doing keto? Is there anything that you find easy? Also, you know, are you making sure you're getting enough water every day to stay hydrated? Because, you know, doing keto, you're expelling a lot of fluids. You're losing a lot of minerals through, you know, your urine. So I definitely want to make sure that you know to take in pink Himalayan salt. You want to consume about probably 2 to 3 teaspoons a day. That's going to help keep your sodium levels up. Can't say this enough. Always try to get grass-fed, grass-finished. Just because something's grass-fed doesn't mean it's grass-finished. You want to try to get stuff that, you know, has never had any antibiotics or anything like that. Because we are trying to get healthy here, you know. So let me get that out of the way. Move this over here. So I took them off the burner. Okay, so now I'm going to take and put these into the bowl to set aside. Okay, so now I have them there, right? Now I have to take the butter, which you're supposed to use a 1/4 cup, which is 4 tablespoons. I'm using 3. Okay, get that in the pan. Then get that back on the heat so that can get melting. And now once this gets melted, and you know, when you're moving this around, just try to scrape the bottoms a little bit, get all the flavor off there from the beef. Okay, so I got that just about melted. Now I'm going to add the garlic. And we just want to move that around in there. We just got the steak out into the side bowl. We did the 3 tablespoons of butter, and we sauteed the garlic until that started to let off an aroma. Now I moved this off the pan, off the burner. Now I'm going to take the steak and I'm going to put it back in here, okay, like so. Then we're going to heat this thoroughly, mix it all around into the butter. As always, if you found any value in my content, please share it with your friends or anybody that you know that's doing the ketogenic lifestyle, low-carb lifestyle, or just wants to get healthy. All right, so I'm just going to stir this around, get it all nice and hot. Okay. Then I'm going to get ready to do the zucchini noodles and the broccoli. So for that, I have another pan right here. And I am going to add, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of avocado oil in here. Okay, now I'm going to move the steak bites off of the warm burner, move them to the back. Just let them sit. Then I'm going to get this pan on here, turn it up to almost high. You want to get it hot. And again, you know, we're using the avocado oil because of the high smoke point. And then as soon as that starts to get warm, we're going to add these zucchini noodles. And then we'll just put some salt and pepper on there. And this was 2 zucchinis, and look at how much it made. I mean, that's quite a bit. Just spread these out. Careful not to burn yourself. And then we're going to cook this for just a couple minutes to get them to soften up a little bit. And then we're going to add the broccoli. And you know, you could have even tucked the steak out of that pan if you wanted to. And you could have used that same pan and just, you know, put the beef back into that bowl. But I kind of wanted to keep it in the pan to keep it warm while I do. Okay, as soon as you see these starting to, you know, get steamy on the bottom, you want to try to roll them over on themselves. Because again, with the zucchini, you don't want to cook it too long, because if you do, then it starts getting mushy. And if you're looking for like, you know, spaghetti or lo mein texture, you don't want to cook this too much. And you'll notice, like, once you start cooking it, the green that's on there gets really even more green. And now, you know, I got the broccoli here. I would have liked to use fresh, but I didn't have any right here, and I had this, so I figured I would try to use this up. Okay, and now I'm going to take the lid from the steak and I'm going to put it on here to help hold the heat in. I'm going to get my spices back in the cupboard, and then, you know, I will post a picture at the end of this video of what my portion looked like.